All right, hello people, hello MAM warriors. I love how Sean Atwood says that. I just think that's a really good phrase for it because it looks like it is going to be a war. Anyway, just here to briefly talk about the order that was issued by the Seventh Circuit Court today. I'm going to show you guys the documents or whatever, but what it basically seems like it comes down to is they were dealing with the matter of the appeal of the release order by Magistrate Duffin, which they're essentially saying was moot because they ruled that they already put a stay on that order. And so the fact that they put that stay on the order makes anything else moot. So basically, it looks like Brendan's going to be in there for a while. It looks like he's not going to be being released during his appeal, which seems unfair. Especially considering that the kid has no prior record or anything at all to make him seem like he's a flight risk or a danger. The only thing that he ever did get connected to, he's now been exonerated. Well, he's had his conviction overturned. Sorry, not exonerated, but he's had his conviction overturned. So I don't know why the Seventh Circuit Court chose in this situation to do that. But whatever. We'll have to let the wheels of justice spin, I guess. But anyway, so I'm going to show you guys the document here. All right, this is just the top of the document here, stating the Seventh Circuit Court at the top and the people involved and stuff or whatever. And then now we'll move on to the meat of it. A preliminary review of this short record indicates that the order appealed from may be moot in light of this court's order of November 17th, 2016, which issued in both this appeal and appeal number 163397 accordingly. It is ordered that both petitioner and respondent shall file on or before December 12, 2016, a brief memorandum stating why this appeal should not be dismissed as moot. A motion for voluntary dismissal pursuant of Federal App P42B will satisfy the respondent's obligation to respond to this order. Briefing shall be suspended pending further court order. So basically, if the parties wished to push the importance of this particular appeal, it would halt the briefing process of the actual appeal. So this is getting dropped. It's getting removed from the docket. That's what this is about. The judges are just clearing this off the docket. But I just think it's interesting here because they are basically, in my mind, they are basically saying here that Brad Schimmel's emergency motion had nothing to do with them coming together on the 17th and making the decision that they made to stay the release of Brendan Dassey. So I just think that's particularly interesting here. All right, so what we see there is that the Seventh Circuit Court, I know I struggled with understanding this thing too. I had to call a friend who is actually practices law actually, so to get a better understanding of it. But anyways, what it means here is that this court is basically saying, in my opinion, they're basically saying we already made a decision about this on the 17th of November because Brendan was supposed to get released on the 18th or 19th. Well, they're saying here that they just came in and made a decision to put the stay on it on November 17th, almost as if they're suggesting that Brad Schimmel's emergency motion had no bearing on them coming together and his emergency motion filing an appeal on Judge Duffin's decision, his order to release Brendan. So apparently what they're saying here then is that because that appeal is moot because they ruled or they issued a stay or ordered a stay on it on that release order, that now they need to deal with this appeal here. So what they're saying is that if either side believes that appeal is not moot, then they need to offer a brief memorandum explaining why they believe that the appeal is not moot. Anyways, what it comes down to is that both sides would need to decide that the appealing of that order to release is important, which essentially isn't. The court is right. It's moot. They've already ruled, but I just think it's interesting here because this document is basically saying that they ruled on their own. They came together on their own before Brendan Dassey got released and made this decision without any, provocation, without any, influence from anywhere. That basically Brad Schimmel's emergency motion had nothing to do with it, because they're now asking for the motion essentially to just be dismissed, to essentially asking the respondent, which is the state, to file a dismissal, a voluntary dismissal on the appeal, so that they can get it off the docket. They don't even want to deal with it. They're basically saying that their ruling on this matter is enough. So that's basically what that comes down to. So it basically translates into the fact that Brendan has now, his release has been stayed. He's going to be in there. I know, it's sad. It's unfortunate. It's ridiculous. Especially when you consider they just have no probable cause, really. The only crime that he's ever been implicated in, he has now had his conviction overturned, so he's technically an innocent man, and he has no other record. He not only has no other record, but in prison he's referred to as exceedingly benign. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why exactly they chose to rule that way. It seems a bit unfair, but hey, it's their job. This is what they do. And, I guess we just have to really wait for the wheels of justice to spin. You got to wait for it to happen, I guess. So, I got to imagine, though, that when Zellner gets done with her testing and she starts uncovering the corruption here, that things may begin to get a little more fast-tracked. So, anyways, that's about it for today. I just wanted to talk briefly about that thing. I know a lot of people were kind of confused by it, so if you were confused by it, then hopefully I was able to explain it a little bit to you. Thank you for watching, and please hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.